Welcome to the last episode of the first season of the Speedrunner Technique. Today we are reviewing the ludicrous things you can pull out in The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and to see and explain how Zelda pro players fly around Hyrule like it's nothing, or how they perform John Wick level stunts. So, at this point, you already know the deal. Grab some water, some snacks, turn on your Joy-Cons, because this is the Speedrunner Technique for The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. We'll begin this episode covering one of the least impressive tricks speedrunners perform in Breath of the Wild, but that doesn't mean it is not useful. This is called whistle running. It is a technique that allows you to keep running while recovering stamina, letting Link cross distances faster. To perform it, it is as simple as pressing the down button to whistle and fast tap the B button to sprint. The drawback of whistle running is that it alerts nearby foes, and that, while it is fast, it's not as fast as regular sprinting. So the best combination is to sprint until your stamina is depleted, and, right before getting exhausted, perform the whistle run to recover your stamina and repeat the process all over again. Perhaps one of the most iconic tricks you can pull off in Breath of the Wild, Windbombs are excellent to cover big distances, and they are also really useful to reach heights you normally couldn't conquer at early stages in the game, and, most importantly, skip shrines like you're straight up cheating. The standard Windbomb is performed from an elevated surface. To perform it, Link has to jump forward, spawn a round bomb, and activate bullet time. After that, switch to cubic bombs, spawn one, and get back to round bombs to detonate the first bomb so you get launched into the air. Sounds too complex? No worries. We are going to break it down. The first part is really important to practice, and the trickiest one mechanically. You need to practice the input combination until you reach bullet time. That's the forward jump, the spawn of the round bomb, and the activation of bullet time. In input order, it would look like this. The second part, which we could call the bomb management part, consists of spawning a cubic bomb and detonating the first one. The principle behind this is that the cubic bomb gets launched by the blast, and when it hits Link, the Hyrulean hero gets also the momentum. The combination of inputs would be the following one. So, if we combine the two parts, we get the technique to perform the iconic Windbomb. If you want to dig into the complex mechanics of windbombing and all its variants, such as windbombing while paragliding and much more, I suggest to check out the notorious in-depth guide made by Vivoxy. So be sure to check it out if you're interested in mastering this trick. The bow lift smuggling slide, or BLSS for short, is perhaps the craziest thing speedrunners can do in Breath of the Wild, and luckily enough, it is fairly easy to perform. So, you might be wondering, what does BLSS let me do? Well, let me show you. Wanna do it? Cool. You're in the right video then. To perform BLSS, we'll need a shield, a bow, a liftable object such as a bomb, and a small ledge. It is not the hardest trick, as I said previously, but it is quite lengthy compared to the other ones. I'll explain it first, and then we will break it down into parts. So BLSS is performed by grabbing a liftable object such as a bomb and drawing your bow at the same time, while your shield guard is up. If done correctly, Link will grab the object and the bomb simultaneously. Then, by jumping and dropping the liftable object and opening the menu at the same time, you're able to unequip your shield and to keep holding the liftable object. That allows you to carry that object in one hand and the bow at the same time, and when you combine all this and move to a small ledge while inputting a certain sequence of buttons, this happens. Okay, that sounded confusing as hell, so let's go through the BLSS step by step. The first step consists of grabbing the bomb and, at the same time, drawing your bow. In order to make this happen, you need to be shielding while you input your actions. The sequence of buttons would be the following: ZL to shield, ZR to draw the bow, and A to pick up the bomb. The combination of the ZR and A buttons must be almost at the same time. It is quite precise, so don't be afraid to go somewhere nice and practice until you are comfortable with this part. Once you have completed the first step, the next one is perhaps the trickiest. You want to press X to jump and, in quick succession, press B to stop holding the bomb or the liftable object and open the menu with the pause button immediately. Then, you want to unequip your shield from the menu and then unpause. If Link is still holding the bomb, you've done it correctly. However, if the bomb falls to the ground, you'll need to start from scratch. It's also important to note that maybe you are stuck in the bow menu if you fail this step, so to reset Link and try again, just aim to throw your weapon and cancel the throw. The most complicated part is over, so now it's just a matter of pressing ZR to draw your bow and B to cancel. Then walk to a small ledge while pressing B and Link will start to fly like it's racing through the Tokyo streets.
Deja vu, I've just been in this place before. Higher on the street and I know it's my time to go.
Keep in mind that while flying, if you let go of B or you stop moving your left stick into a direction, Link will cease to fly and will most certainly precipitate into his own death. Most pro players use a wiggle pattern to build up speed, so I recommend trying it to make the most out of BLSS. And if you want a safe way to land into places, then you're looking for this fall damage negation trick. If you find yourself falling from a considerable height, be sure to have equipped a shield, and while falling, prepare to throw your weapon, and just when you are close to the ground, throw your weapon and unequip your shield just right after. And just like that, Link is safe and happy that his bones didn't break horribly. Good job! Did you know that you can trespass any shrine you want in Breath of the Wild? The technique that lets speedrunners complete the Great Plateau without climbing the map tower is called Skew, and it makes the shield the most valuable item of an early run of Breath of the Wild. The explanation is quite simple. When you make a shield jump and land on some specific surfaces, you get Skew, which is a frame in which Link corrects his position. It is easier to see in slow motion. Once you got Skew, every time you unequip your shield, Link does this little readjustment. This lets pro players set up different tricks in each shrine in order to move Link barely enough to get across walls like it's nothing. If you are interested in learning the secret of the Skew and shrine clips, I suggest you watch the Tony Express or LimCube's video on the subject. So, Landa, you might say, that's all well and good, but how am I supposed to get 4 consecutive shrine clips with just a podlet? It will break! Well, my dear observant subscriber, you are right. Luckily for us, there is a trick that makes shields have infinite durability, and it is just as simple as equipping and unequipping your shield right before you land. As you can see, unequipping and re-equipping your shield lets you surf all the time you want without damaging the shield. So, with that knowledge, you can freely try shrine clips as much as you like. Finally, the last trick we will cover in this video is bullet time bounce, also known as BTB. Bullet time bounce was the main way to travel in Hyrule before the BLSS days, but I suggest you try it anyways because this trick is just really cool. Each BTB has a specific setup, but the main principle is that you need to shield jump from an elevated surface into an enemy like a bokoblin, and right before you land on them, you enter bullet time. For some reason, Link gets launched up in the air, letting him cover great distances and heights effortless. And that will be all the tricks we'll be covering today. Breath of the Wild is a masterpiece with a really cool speedrunning community, so if you want to learn categories such as the any %, I suggest you check out the Tony Express video series on it, because they are really good. There are also a lot of advanced tricks in different categories that revolve around inventory manipulation, variants on BLSS or Windbombs that you can dive in once you get the gist of the basic tricks. Anyways, Thank you so much for watching this video. Until we meet again,